Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a video on journaling emotion, depression, and pain, because that sounds like a fun topic, right? But anyway, I was at Barnes& and Noble earlier, and this guy was asking his girlfriend or whoever she was, he's like, do you want to journal? And she's like, no, I don't really like to think about my emotions. So I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, you're gonna have the emotions anyway, and like, if you write about it, it's kind of one way to kind of, like, release whatever's, release your emotions and just kind of like deal with your pain. So, alright, so the first way um, to do that is collages. Um, earlier this week, um, earlier this week, my brother died, and I couldn't think of it. I couldn't write for a few days. I just could not come up with any words to really write, so I made collages. So this is that one. Alright, I'm gonna put you on the floor because this is like an odd angle. Okay. Alright, that's gonna work much better. Okay. So yeah, this collage is with lyrics from one of my favorite songs, called The Dreaming Tree by Dave Matthews Band. So yeah, it just says the dreaming trees died, and so yeah, this is kind of, I mean, this isn't just about my brother dying, but like, yeah, I've had depression for years, so this is just kind of, like, that song is always kind of, I could relate to it, I guess. Just like kind of feeling like your dreams have died and wanting to go back to a different time in your life and everything. And then I've added some stuff like help yourself, because I think at some point you kind of do have to help yourself. Anyway, so yeah, collages are a good way to journal if you can't bring yourself to write words, or you can't think of words that really show how you're feeling at that point. And collages are just really fun too. I just took some lyrics from the song and then just kind of added in random stuff. So that's that one. And then sometimes they're a little bit more cheerful. This one says, life is beautiful, what is it worth? And then this one says, live life. And then I like this on an even keel, because like the boat here, the keel is not even, it's kind of like going into the ocean. So I put bridges to recovery on the side. And then yesterday's collage is this. And this is a song called Alone I Break by Korn. It's another song I like. How am I gonna do? Okay. Hopefully you can see that. I just took some lyrics from the song and then just added in other words that I felt like adding, basically. And in an angle you can kind of see some of the lyrics that I put. They're not in order, but it's a pretty cool song if you want to look it up. It's called Alone I Break, by Korn. I think it's a pretty old song, but I don't know. It just felt kind of relatable to me. And then here's a collage from last month that it just says find the meaning, saving grace. And then and this is pictures from a magazine. I really like it. It's kind of like dark and eerie, but it's got like the cheerful flowers in the front. It just says survivalist, and then I added words on the side. And I just got into collages pretty recently. Okay, let me see if I can find one. This was kind of like the first, this isn't even a collage. This is the first time I like even tried to make it sort of collage-y in a journal, and this is from the song Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, I think. And the lyrics just say, like, I want to hide the truth, I want to shelter you, look into my eyes, it's where my demons hide. No, it's called Demons by Radioactive, I think. No. No. Imagine Dragons is the band name, and the song is named Demons. There we go. Okay. Right. Anyway, let's see. I tried to label these, like, and put bookmarks, but that didn't really work. Here's another one. Every day a new destination, every bit as beautiful as the last. So yeah, collages are really fun, and they're pretty quick. I never really gotten into it until this journal. Let's see. So another one just says, just the beginning. I pretty much just, like, cut words out of a magazine, that's about it. It says creating a new direction. And then never dreamed of. And this is one of my favorites. Everything can be washed away, and then the other side says rescue me. Alright, they don't kind of like stick together a little bit. Make room for new treasures. So yeah, I just cut crap out and then glue it in. That's pretty much it. But I don't know, it's still fun. Free, everything you've ever wanted. And I kind of meant a little bit deeper than that sound. That sounded kind of lame. But, like, free as in, like, I'm free and I can actually do the stuff that I want in life. Okay, how can you get a life like this? Okay, and that's about all the collages. Except this one. And this one, just says, better, unforgettable moments and change your life. This is one of my favorite collages. I really like that picture of the boat and everything. And it just kind of reminds me, like, of a certain time in my life about, well, in 2007, I was pretty miserable, and, I hated my life pretty badly. I was pretty dramatic about it, too. I'd come home from, like, work or school or wherever I was, and pretty much, like, in the hallway of my apartment, like, cry and just, like, repeat over and over, like, I hate my life, type of thing. So I pretty much, like, changed my life a little bit then. I decided to move and kind of, like, change what I was doing in life and just kind of really start living again, basically. Like, I got into hobbies, I started to try to find friends again and travel and do some stuff, instead of just, like, just hating my life and being miserable and not having anyone or anything. And it's one, like, as I told one friend, a few years ago, like, that time in my life, I pretty much was completely alone, and I had no one and nothing, and it was hell. And that's kind of how I felt about it at the time. I mean, I had a roof over my head, and school and income, so, like, it wasn't, you know, there are worse things in life, but I was just pretty miserable, and so yeah, I decided to change what I was doing and kind of really live again, get some hobbies, and do some stuff I enjoy, and just try to kind of rid myself of how depressed I was. So anyway, this collage just kind of reminds me of how I did manage to sort of change my life from, like, a depressive, I hate my life thing back in 2007 to kind of just really living again and having some fun. Okay, and the other way I like to use journaling to deal with, you know, like, pain and life lessons and everything is just writing about either memories or regrets or, like, what's bothering you, and also, like, writing about what you want in life. So this page just has important life lessons. So here it says, like, not every problem is as big as it seems. You can't relive or recreate the past. Blah, blah, blah. And then I added in, like, a quote by Terrence, like, where there's life, there's hope. And then the past only happens once. And here are the other journals that you're about to see while I try to, like, flip through and see stuff. Sometimes I'll add in a quote that reminds me to just live again. It says, the world's out there, what are you waiting for? Finally. okay. I thought this would be a little bit quicker, but it's not. And I added, sometimes I write about stuff I want. So these pages say the kind of parent I want to be, top 10 family memories to make. So it says like Q&A games at the table, Christmas traditions, and, you know, just different stuff. Parent, child, you know, date nights regularly, and just like spending time together, and having like quality time. Okay, what else? This is sort of along the same thing, better every day. You miss a lot. Wait, you miss out on a lot if you limit yourself. Just try it. And that just kind of reminds me to try it. That sounds lame. Okay, basically, like, I just kind of let, like, fear, I think everyone does, let fear get in the way of, like, really living, so, I put quotes in this to remind me to just try. Like, maybe it won't work out, but, you know, it's not gonna work at all if you don't try, so, so yeah, trying is progress anyway. It just says, set your soul free. Oh. Okay, what, where did that go? Sometimes I'll just, like, write about memories, so, like, crap. Write about memories and crap, no. Alright. So, like, I added in a little bit of my prom dress from high school, and that's my Christmas dance dress in the red there. And then on the next page, I just wrote memories about it, and I added in a photo. So I'll do stuff like this, like, write about memories, like, both good and bad ones, and just, you know, like, how whatever it was affected me. Not so much prom, but, like, with different, like, you know, tragedies and, like, crappy stuff in life. Sometimes I'll do that. I have a list of my favorite random memories in here. Some old photos. I made a list of things I'm glad I did in life. Alright, let me find the one I was looking for. And then I'll write about, some of it's like straight up, like what's wrong, with me. So, that sounds really weird. But yeah, here's my page on just like depression and all that sort of thing. So sometimes I'll write about like a problem and just like how it's affected me and all that sort of thing. You can read that if you'd like. I'll hold it there a second so you can. But yeah, basically I just wrote, I wasted a lot of years of my life with depression and sadness hanging over my head. I've avoided so much of life out of fearing life in my past. I've let the past haunt me for so long. How many more years of life am I going to waste? Or, how many more years of life am I going to let be tinged by sadness and fear? When will I feel okay and be truly happy? So yeah, there's the rest of that. And one thing, like both, well, journaling has kind of taught me a few things, even about like depression and like loss and sadness. I mean, emotions change really fast, and sometimes I'll write about something, maybe like someone said something that just upset me or made me mad, and like I'll be flipping out about it, and the next day I'm like, what the hell? It wasn't really that big a deal. So I wrote about this in here. I wrote about not every problem feels as intense and just overwhelming as it used to, or it seems. And I also wrote about like aging and how that changes how you view problems. I wrote, I've at least felt more on an even keel this year and not freaking the fuck out about minor daily stuff so much. And just more like grown up. Not every problem feels as intense and overwhelming as it used to. Apparently the brain finishes developing in our 20s, making life not feel as intense as it did in our teens. Alright, and then another page. So yeah, both writing and just aging kind of have taught me that, like, our emotions change and not everything's as an enormous of a deal as it seems, um, but to still, like, value what we feel, but to try to keep it in perspective. Because there's always worse in life. There's always, there's better too, but just to kind of not make mountains and molehills, basically. And then I wrote, I don't know how to share my emotions with people, and when I have, I end up relying too much on the person. I'm lonely in my pain if I isolate, and I'm lonely in my pain if I don't isolate, and someone doesn't or can't really help me either. Actually, no one truly knows me or everything about me. Maybe I just close off and isolate because I'm afraid of getting hurt, or because I really trust people, or just because having to deal with relationships on top of my own shit is too much for me. I don't know. I should really do something to try to heal and deal with my shit. I'm glad I'm independent, but it can be hard doing it alone. So yeah, I'll just write stuff like this to kind of, I don't know, just think about, like, depression or whatever your, a problem is and how it affects you and, like, kind of what you can do about it. So yeah, there's that. A collage from a similar note. I think I already showed this one. So yeah, sometimes collages are a good way to, like, capture your feelings. Like, if you can't really just say, like, straight up say what you're feeling, sometimes, like, using, like, song lyrics like this and making collages is a good way to kind of handle that. Let's see. And here's another, just kind of, you can read that. It just says into it or over it. And I just wrote about how sometimes I'm just over it, over life, over everything. Sometimes I just don't get it. I'm sometimes tired of everything and don't see how people do this for 80 years. All the tiredness, pain, defeat, frustration, everything. Okay, this is kind of, like, lame. It just sounds lame, but, like, it really does help to, like, just to write about stuff like this. If you're writing about it, there's, like, an automatic listener there. So, like, you can say as much as you want and not have to feel embarrassed if you tell someone this. It's easier to write about it. And you can say all this, like, I can say I can write about this, but, like, I wouldn't want to tell my parents, like, like, in 2007 when I was like, I hate my life. Like, you don't want necessarily people to know about that. Like, if I had a kid and they told me that they hated their life, I'd be heartbroken. So, writing about that is a good way to kind of, like, deal with your shit, basically. Without having to have other people just kind of be crushed or upset about it. And this page is also going to be the same writing. I just haven't written it yet. So on the left I put how bad is it. And the page is just going to be, like, what depression, kind of holds me back from, and, like, regret and everything else. Just kind of, well, depression, regret, and fear, like, what that has done in my life and prevented me from doing. And then this page is, like, why it's worth it. So, like, my life is worth it, basically. Alright, let's see. And then, along with, like, writing about depression stuff, sometimes I'll write about, like, people I've lost in life, okay. So yeah, that's a page on my brother's death this week, and then on the other page, I wrote about my other brother dying earlier this year, and I wrote some memories about him and stuff. What else? Okay, I don't think I've shown you the other journals yet, so let me get to that. This one is from this year, too. Sometimes I'll add in quotes. If I can think of, like, anything I really feel like writing, I'll do a collage or add in quotes like this. So it says, it's never too late to be happy, but it's all up to you and no one else. Make peace with the past, it won't screw up the present. Um, and this is from earlier this year when I like rediscovered the song "The Dreaming Tree" by Dave Matthews Band. And then I wrote just like how that song is always kind of, I don't know, I could relate to it, and it that song always makes me tear up. It's kind of a sad song, but anyway. Okay. And here's a page about I wrote a lot about high school in this journal for some reason, and just like earlier in life, and how what I think started out as relatively minor problems I just like bottled up, and it just kind of kept going and getting worse. And so I wrote, what did I write here? Maybe I've always wanted someone just to help me, to understand, show me how to heal or something. Maybe I just want to feel like they care, or whatever. This is kind of random. Maybe I wanted to feel deep and dark. Yeah, you think these are all pretty kind of over dramatic and deep and dark, but here's another one. Well, that's not the one. I don't know. I just kind of like ramble on about that sort of thing. I have no idea what this is going to be. Hang on. Okay. So sometimes I'll just write like about writing. This is actually an article on weblogs.com. That's the address. And I read that article in 2007, and I just wrote a quote from that article. A journal is a way to talk to you in the future. You project yourself in the future and wait until these thoughts fade in your mind. Then you reread your entries and remember all the things that you were thinking about, but now you know the truth about these old assertions. There's a paradox. You create a personal diary, you prohibit others from reading it, but the deeper you want to leave a trace. While you live, you don't need others to know you, but once you die, you want others to know everything about you. And that quote right there is from this article. Let's see. This is getting long. This is probably really lame, but alright. I wrote an entire page on friends and regret. And then just kind of, it's like multiple pages. I wrote how I wish I'd been a better friend, or that I had better friends. I was remembering the time freshman year when PJ came to my hotel. I was staying at night at a hotel to study for midterms because my dorm air conditioning wasn't working. PJ called that night and asked what I was up to. I said I was staying at a hotel. He said, "Stay where you are, I'm coming." At the time, I just thought he wanted to hang out or something, and I was thinking, why is he here? I want to be alone and study. But now I realize that he thought I was suicidal, staying in a hotel. So I just wrote a few pages on how, this person tried to be there for me, and he was trying to save my life, but, I didn't even notice that at the time. And I was really just trying to study there. But I just wrote how I wish I'd realized what a good friend he was trying to be at the time, and how I wish I'd had other people over the years try to be there for me like that. Because a lot of times people aren't really that emotionally or that aware of your emotions. I mean, I was I was depressed that year, most of my teenagehood, but I mean, I wasn't suicidal that night, but he still, tried to literally save my life because he thought that I was, just irrevocably upset. And that shows a lot of caring, and so I just wrote how I wish that there were more people who had done that in my life. Anyway, sometimes I'll write just more stuff about life. That's what that journal looks like. I wrote, some say that people mourn or miss the past because they don't see much potential in the future. I see potential, but just miss some of the people I could have been close to, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't know why I put, childish stickers on this thing, but I did. This is from 2007. I made a page on rules to live by, in theory. Realize reality, but keep some naivete and hope. You'll fail some, but if you don't try, you'll have no chance. Don't let people bother you too much. We're all just fighting and trying to survive. Just because you make mistakes and have regrets doesn't mean you're a bad person. Dreams keep you alive. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. This journal's from this year. So yeah, this is more just adding quotes in here. I'm wasting time while I wait for life to shower me with meaning and happiness. Okay, this is like kind of hard to turn pages in this thing. Okay. More quotes. It's a Dr. Seuss quote. There's fun to be done. Everything in life is a reflection of a choice you have made. If you want a different result, make a different choice. And then sometimes I'll just vent, just write about what you're feeling at the moment. That's a pretty good way to deal with things too. Like, even if it's not like a dramatic event, like, you know, you're just generally feeling kind of out of it or stressed out or whatever, I'll just write about that kind of thing too. So I wrote here, I'm trying to relax and make my mind stop spinning. I'm worried about all sorts of things. The past and flashbacks can be a bit. Okay, so this video is getting so long that my camera cut off, but that thing I was just showing you just says, like, I was writing about, like, my grandma fell down an escalator once, and it was pretty gory and traumatizing because I was young, and, you know, it was just kind of scary, and I couldn't save her, really. So sometimes I'll write about stuff like that. I'll pick a topic that is a milestone or some kind of tragedy from my past and just, like, you know, write about how I felt about it. You know, how it changed my views on things. Not necessarily just that particular thing, but, like, you know, other events that have happened to me and stuff. I think that's a good way to kind of, like, process your emotions, deal with it, you know, accept whatever it is that's happened to you, and just kind of, like, acknowledge it, reflect, and, like, sort of, like, start to heal and move on a little bit. And speaking of grandmothers falling, at that grandmother's funeral, my living grandmother fell and injured herself really badly, and my living grandma nearly died at my other grandma's funeral because she fell. Anyway, sometimes I'll write about stuff like that, like, stuff that's just kind of scary, and, like, it kind of, you know, just reminds you, like, how fragile life is, and, or I'll write about, like, loss, like, you know, my brother dying this week, my other brother dying earlier in the year, like, I'll write about that, and then I'll put a photo of them in a journal, and I'm still working on that page right now, but I'll put a photo of them, and then I'll, like, list memories on the side, like, happy memories with that person, and, like, write about their personality, and just kind of try to remember them, and just kind of come to terms with whatever loss it is. Let's see. Okay, there's one other thing I was going to show you, and I can't remember what that is. Sometimes I'll write about stuff I want in life. I wrote it in 2007, it says who I want to be. So I'll do stuff like that, like I'll write about good or bad memories, like milestones in life, whether they're happy or sad, things that affect me, like, or have affected me over the years, like anxiety, or just, you know, depression, self-harm, like, you know, you name it, eating problems, like, whatever, like, just anything that's affected me, like, loss of people in life, tragedies that I've experienced, or whatever, and then just kind of, like, write about them, how it changed me, how it affected people that I care about, or whatever, so yeah, I know there was something, oh yeah, and then, aside from writing about, like, memories, good or sad, I'll write about what I want in life. So this is about the safety net of friends and family. There've been many times, here's what I wrote, there've been many times in life that I felt completely alone. The reunion, meeting a few new friends, and stuff have made me begin to feel like I have options to go if I need someone's help. Feeling alone makes people overly worried about things that can happen to you because you feel like you have to deal with whatever it is completely alone. So yeah, I'll just write, like, something like this, so, like, that I want to meet new friends. This is a few pages, like, I want to meet new people and have people to rely on, and, like, just stuff I've learned. Like, you know, it's easier to deal with stuff if you have, like, supportive people around you than dealing with everything alone. I think I've shown you this one. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, here's the page that like cut off when I was talking a minute ago, but yeah, let me know if you've actually watched this far. This is probably the longest video ever. It's probably really boring at this point, but here's all the journals. So yeah, aside from writing about, you know, the good and the bad and memories, I'll do collages when I can't think of words to say, which is rather often, or I'll add in photos that intrigue me or like express whatever emotion I'm feeling at the time, or just ones that I think are cool or remind me of like a happy time in life. Like this photo I took in Tokyo at the Imperial Palace, and that was a really fun time in my life, so I just put this in the back of the journal to just kind of have something happy to look at back there. And then sometimes I'll add in photos that are a little bit like deeper or darker. Like this photo I took of Mount Fuji, like in the middle of a freak hailstorm. And it's just kind of stormy and dark, and I don't know. The weather that was happening was just kind of intriguing looking to me, so I just put it in a photo of that kind of thing. So yeah, this is the longest video ever. I hope it was remotely useful, and let me know if you actually watched this far. And yeah, that's about it. Alright. Yeah, I often like have no words to say, so collages are really good for me. Let me know if you collage, or you know, how you write about like the good and the bad in your life, particularly the bad and like the depressing stuff, and how you kind of use journaling to cope with your life, or to write about your dreams or what you want out of life. Alright. Have a good night. Bye.